In just a few short weeks, the 29th annual Kyle Petty's Charity Ride Across America will kick off its 1,400-mile journey through 7 states in 7 days, all to benefit the incredible work at Victory Junction. And we've got Kyle Petty here to talk all about it. Kyle, thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course. And it's been a long time love of riding motorcycles for you, and now turn into this incredible tradition that spans 29 years. When was it for you where you found your love of riding and motorcycles and turning that into something incredible like this, something that can make a difference?
Listen, it's fascinating. If you go back to the very beginning, I got my first motorcycle when I was like 5.5 years old. My dad bought me a motorcycle, a little Yamaha. So I've been riding my whole life. Always rode to races, did stuff, and myself, Harry Gann, a few of us wanted to ride from California back to North Carolina, um, and we had the opportunity, so we turned it into a charity event, and it fascinates me that this is our 29th year, that 29 years later, really 30, because of COVID. COVID kind of messed us up a little bit, but 29 years later, there's still people that want to ride motorcycles around this country, and do it for charity. And I think that just shows the goodness of their heart. Because listen, if I said we're riding in trucks and we're gonna do it for charity, I think this group would do it, believe me. But the motorcycle has just been the common denominator and something I love to do. I love to ride the races. I love to ride everywhere, as much as I can on my bike. So when you get a chance to ride and help other people, it's good.
And for those who have never been able to participate in the ride, go on the ride, what's the experience like?
It's a little bit of a cross between spring break, a vacation, a cruise, going to the racetrack and staying in the infield, um, and being at the most elegant party you've ever been to. It's a combination of all of those. And I know that sounds bizarre to you when I tell you that, but there's little pieces of all of that. We just get on our motorcycles and ride. We have a luggage team that takes all of our luggage to the next hotel and puts it in the rooms when we get there. So all we have to do is show up, get our room key, and go in our room, and voila, there's our luggage, just like a cruise. The foods and the dinners are just magnificent. They're just like great parties, great elegant parties. Um, what goes on sometimes, when we first get there and it's been a hot day and everybody heads to the bar, that's a little bit like spring break. I will say that gets a little rowdy sometimes before we go to dinner. But all in all, it's just a great group of people. Honestly, it's a good group of people. That some of these people, myself, Lynn Sherrill, Daryl Andrews, there's three or four of us now that are left that have ridden all 29 years. This
Wow.
will be our 29th year, and there's probably another group that's ridden 25 and another group that's ridden 20 some years. And these people that come, they come and they stay for a long time. They don't just come in and out. But we do have riders that come and go, and that always opens the door for new riders. And we've got 20 or 30 new riders this year, and that's always a big year for us when we have that number of new riders.
Absolutely. It's great to bring in new riders into these incredible places. You're going from like Michigan to Virginia. What went into kind of forming the ride path this year?
So, it's real funny. We send out a survey at the end of every year. Where would you like to go? We've been to Traverse City one time before. And everybody just had a great time up on Lake Michigan. Everybody just had a great time. And so we've been trying to work it back in, work it back in. This is our 29th year. We want to do something big for our 30th year. So we kind of said, okay, let's go to Traverse City. Let's see how this works out. So we start connecting dots. I love the Henry Ford Museum, so we're going to Dearborn. I love the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, so we're going to Cleveland. Another place that everybody wanted to go was Niagara Falls. We had never been. So once we got to Cleveland, we're like, yeah, let's go to Niagara Falls. So we're heading up there, and then we're going to Watkins Glen. It wouldn't be a charity ride without passing a racetrack somewhere, at least trying to make a lap. So we're going to Watkins Glen, and we're going to make a lap around that. And then the trick was, how do we get back home? And we just came straight south, and we're going through Bedford, Pennsylvania, staying at the Omni there, which is an incredible little town and just so much fun, man. We've had with the conversations we've had. I look for that to be one of the crown events this year, and then on to the Homestead in Virginia. So it's a little bit shorter ride. It really starts in an odd place, ends in an odd place, but compared to some of the rides we've done in the past. But these are places that our riders wanted to go, and that's what we're doing.
From past rides, is there one place in particular that sticks out to you that's been your favorite?
Listen, the whole state of Utah. I'll go ahead. And second, the whole state of Arkansas. I'll say that. And I know that sounds crazy when you say it, but man, if you ride motorcycles, there's nothing like Utah. And there's nothing like Arkansas. Those back roads and the Ozarks, it's just amazing, and the people are so nice. And it's so funny. I always say anything west of the Mississippi, I'm good until you get to California. And then it kind of backs up again. But I'm telling you, man, Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Utah, Nevada, New Mexico, all down through there. And West Texas has my heart. So I love that area. But once you get to the Mississippi, it gets a little congested.
You mentioned the people that are part of this event, and there's some notable names that are going to be part of this one, and they have been in years past. Of course, your dad, you've got Rutledge Wood, Rick Allen. What is it like to have the support of the motorsports community and even wider sports community to be part of this event?
So in the beginning, we kind of conned them all into it. Michael Waltrip, Todd Bodine, Jeff Bodine, Mike Helton went with us that first year. Robert Yates, Tony Stewart. Man, I can go back through it. Tim Fedowa. So many people. Steve Park have gone with us. So and then we kind of changed it as it got later. As we got into to 10 or 15, 20 years, we kind of changed our date. So that took the opportunity for a lot of the current drivers and people like that to ride. Although Joey Logano rode with us a couple of years ago, he's got a car, a Morgan. It's a three-wheel car, and it's pretty cool. He rode with us, but it's really cool to have my father. He's been there just about every year. Um, Herschel Walker, NFL Heisman Trophy winner. He's been with us almost every year. Once he went that first time, man, he brings his brothers and his family. There's about 8 or 10 of his family that go with us. Rick Allen from NBC Sports. You mentioned Rutledge. Rutledge and I have been friends. Seems like since the day we were born, almost. And I've known him that long, but he goes. Herschel McGriff, who's 96. My dad's 87. Herschel's 96. Kenny Wallace and Kenny Schrader, two of the funniest guys, smartest guys, best guys in the world. They go with us. Max Pappas is going with us. So it's just a lot of fun. Once you get that group together and they start telling stories at a gas station or telling stories sometimes when we're sitting in the hotel lobby, man, it creates. You guys need to send a camera guy and just film them. That's what you need to do. Just film them. That would be the perfect show for you guys, the Kenny and Kenny show, just in the lobby at night,
That would make for excellent content, no doubt.
for sure.
Now, since its inception in 1999, you guys have raised over $22 million for children's charities and Victory Junction. With those proceeds, donations, what does that help you guys do at Victory Junction to change these kids' lives?
So what we did in the beginning, we were one of the founding members before camp started, before Adam's accident, and before we started camp. We were going to children's hospitals all across the country. And then once we decided on the camp and the camp became the focus, all of our funds funneled straight to Victory Junction. In the beginning, we helped build camp. We built a water park with a big motorcycle in the middle of it, and it was a place that the kids looked forward to coming every year was to the water park. Last year was our 20th anniversary. After 20 years, the water park got old and dated, and the pipes started breaking. So last year, we donated a brand new water park. We spent almost $3 million and built a brand new water park at camp. So last summer was the first year of the new water park. So a lot of our money has gone to that. We've set aside money for that. At the same time, we set aside money every year for camperships. And we try to send 100, 150 kids to camp every year with the money we send. And that's restricted funds that allow these kids for nothing but for campership. Then we donate money for maintenance and things like that because obviously you got to keep the camp up. Everybody wants to put their name on the bill, and nobody wants to pay the heating bill. That's kind of the way it is anytime you do a charity. So we do things like that. So it's absolutely amazing to think that through all these years, there's been 125,000 kids that have been touched by camp in the 20 previous years. That's a lot of kids, and totally free of charge. And it's all because of people that give. It's all because of events like the Kyle Petty Charity Ride. It's because of the NASCAR community in so many ways that place is up and running and is still doing good and still being blessed.
And what has it meant to you to see Adam's legacy carried on through Victory Junction and just the life-changing impact that it's had on these kids?
Yeah, it's very humbling, and I say that, and it's very inspiring in a lot of ways. These kids are so inspiring. It is so easy, and I'm going to say this: it is so easy for us, for people in general, not just Kyle Petty, just people in general, um, to do something and then want to tell everybody you did it. Just look what I did. I did this, and want to brag about it and be proud about it. And it's so easy to stand back and pat yourself on the back and say, "Whoa, look at that camp, man. We built a great camp and look at all this stuff." And that's not what it's about, though. What it's about is when you see these kids come, then the camp has a life. Then the camp has a heartbeat. Then the camp has a purpose. It's just a bunch of buildings. We just built a bunch of buildings. We didn't do anything. We didn't do, I tell people all the time, I made a living riding around in circles. I started a white line, I ride for 500 miles, and I end at the same line. I don't even go anywhere. How crazy can that be a way to make a living? We build a camp. It's just a bunch of buildings. But when the kids come, when the fans come to the racetrack, it becomes something. When the kids come to camp, it becomes something. And that's kind of the way it is. And we are just the caretakers. We are just the stewards of camp. We had a tragedy in our life and we raised our hand and said, I think this is what we'll do in memory of our son. And, so many people said, hey, we'll help you. And that just shows the quality and the caliber of people and the type of people that drive race cars, that work on race cars, that are part of race teams, and the people that come and watch us do it, the fans that watch us do it. So for me, I look at it as these guys were Adam's peers. It was the Jimmy Johnsons, it was the Jeff Gordons, it was the Dale Juniors, the people who've been a part of camp. And they've given something of their time and of their finances to help build camp in memory of Adam. And for me, that is a humbling thing and a huge honor to be able to steward that money and to be able to make something happen.
And over those years, what are the memories that stick out to you with Victory Junction? Some stories that maybe personally impacted you through all this?
There's so many. There's so many. I'll tell you one that has a direct connection to racing is for the All-Star event one year. I brought a little boy, and he had an illness, and it was a visual illness. You could see it. And he came to driver introduction with me, and we walked across stage, and he waved to the crowd, and he was all pumped up. And he must have been 9, 10, 11 years old. He was all pumped up about it, man. Just excited to be there. He was a race fan anyhow. And so the following week, we got a call from a family in Ohio and wanted to know who the little boy was. And, obviously you couldn't tell them who the little boy was, but as they talked to him at camp, they found out that their son had the exact same illness that this little boy had. And that was the first little boy or first person really that their son had ever seen that looked anything like him, looked anything. He had
Wow.
always thought he was the only person in the world that looked that way. He thought he was the only person in the world with that illness. And suddenly he sees a guy at a NASCAR race coming across stage, waving at the crowd, and he looks just like him. So we got in touch with the little boy that went across the stage with me and his family, and he got in touch. They got in touch with the other family. And I want to say again, they were 8 or 9 years old, 10 years old. For the next 7 or 8 years, they vacationed together each year. They got to be great friends. The boys went to college together. It was just amazing that through camp and through that, these two kids met each other and created a relationship and a lifelong friendship, I hope. And that's all about camp. It's got nothing to do with racing. That's not nothing to do with anything else. It's just because of camp. And camp afforded them that opportunity. So there's so many stories about kids that come to camp that think they're the only child with cancer, that think they're the only child with Crohn's, that think they're the only child with AIDS, and they've never really been around other children. And then they come to camp and there's 120 kids that have the exact same illness. And they realize, hey, I'm part of a larger group. I'm not alone on an island. And I think that's the main thing. It empowers these kids. And there's so many stories like that.
And for people to help empower these kids and to continue that lasting impact for those who aren't going to be on the ride, what can others do to help support the charity event?
So obviously you can just go to Calpetty or go to victoryjunction.org and find out more about camp and what you can do and volunteer, whatever. I tell people all the time, when it comes to camp, we'll take any donation. You send a pig, we'll make barbecue. We'll let them pet it for a while, but then we'll make barbecue out of it. I promise you, we'll use anything. That's kind of the way it is. If you want to know more about the charity ride, go to calpettycharityride.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, or whatever other social media platforms there are by the time this ride starts in 2 weeks, because it seems like every couple of weeks there's a new platform. But we're on just about everything. And if we're coming through your area, if you live in Detroit or Cleveland or between Watkins Glen and back home to Virginia, and you know where there's a fuel stop, you see where there's a fuel stop, come out and see us. come out and have your picture taken with my dad and with Herschel and all these guys, and just come out and talk a little bit, and we'll have a good time.
Well, Kyle, thank you so much for joining. And everyone, the event kicks off on May 3rd.
Thank you.